Hi guys. Okay, today's lesson is understanding verb forms. And the first point we're gonna discuss is what are the principal parts of verbs. Number two, regular verbs. Three, irregular verbs. Okay, so let's move to the first point. What are the principal parts of verbs? What are the principal parts of verbs? Here we say verbs change form to fit different uses, much as people change clothes to fit different situations. So if you check the first example, he said he wears stripes for the game. He wears stripes for the game. So that's a form of the verb wears. Number two, he wore a tuxedo for his wedding. So wore. So wears, wore. The third one, he has worn. So has worn. That's another form of the verb. That's another form of the verb. The next point. We have four principal parts, each of which performs a different function. So we have the base form, present participle, past and past participle. Again, base form, present participle, past and past participle. We have two examples here. The verb begin. Okay, a present participle, it will be beginning, and if you have the present participle, so normally you use the verb to be before it am, is, are, was, or were, for example. So begin is beginning, the past of begin is began, and the past participle, which is used mainly after have, has, and had. So have or has or had begun. So begin, beginning, began, begun, or have begun. The second example, the verb join. So join is joining, okay, joined, and have joined. The difference is so simple, guys. Okay, that the verb begin is a regular verb. The word join is a regular verb. You form the past by adding ed and the past participle by adding ed. The next point. When used as a part of a verb phrase, participles follow a helping verb. As we said, joining, for example, so you must precede it with am, is, are, was, or were, for example. And here, the movie has begun. So you can also say the movies have begun, or the movie had begun. So before the past participle, you need to use a helping verb. So you need have, has, or had. Before the present participle, which is the verb plus ing, okay, you use am, is, are, was, or were. I think that that part is very easy and nothing new about it. The next point. These participle principal parts are used to form all different verb tenses. The base form, for example, so it expresses the present. They always begin on time. Present participle, they are beginning now. You're describing or talking about something that's happening now. Past, something that happened already and finished. So they began early yesterday. Past participle, they have begun already. The next point. The tenses of the verbs. The tenses of the verbs. Guys, some students are really confused or feel confused when they use the tenses. What's a tense? Number one, a tense of a verb indicates the time of the action or the state of being expressed by the verb. So perfect tenses indicate that something happened or existed before a specific point in time. So, in order to express the present, guys, you're talking about something that usually happen, a habit, for example, or a fact. So use the present. Present like play, plays, begin, begins. If you're describing something that's happening at the time or the moment you're talking, you use the present progressive, which is am, is, are plus verb plus ing. So they are playing now. They are playing now. So as for present, guys, okay, something that's happening at present. The present perfect, it describes an action, that has already finished, sure, maybe you can say that something you just finished, or something that happened but you don't know when exactly it happened. So unknown time, unspecific time. So the present perfect, guys, has many uses, but you have to focus on if the action continues to the present. If the action continues to the present, use the present perfect. For example, your friend is studying now, but he has been studying, or he has studied for 5 hours. So you can say he has studied for 5 hours. Or in other words, you can also say he has been studying for 5 hours if you're focusing on the duration of the time. So we have present, present perfect, past, past perfect, and remember the perfect tenses indicate that something happened or existed before a specific point in time. Before a specific point in time. We have also future, something that will happen later, and future perfect and future perfect. The next point, the regular verbs. A regular verb generally forms its past and past participle by adding d or ed to the base form. Like bake, add d. So baked, happen, happened. Have baked, have happened. Is happening. The next point. Most regular verbs that end in e drop the e before adding ing, like dance, dance, drop the e and add ing. I guess that is something very easy for you. So some verbs, when you're forming the past or adding ing to the verb, okay, you double the last final consonant before adding the ing or ed, like the verb trim, like the verb drop. So trim, trimming, and trimmed, drop, dropped, and dropping. The next point. Avoid the common mistake of leaving the d or ed ending of the past or past participle form. The firefighter risked his life. It's non-standard, of course, but we should have asked for direction. Non-standard too. The standard language, the firefighter risked his life. We should have asked for direction. We should have asked for direction. The next slide. Guys, please pause the video for 2 minutes and try to answer these questions, and we will check the answer later after you're done. So the answers, guys. Now he said, I think you stirred that batter too much. Okay, what is the correct answer now? And the second and the third example. Okay. The first one, I think you stirred that batter too much. Stir is a regular verb, so add ed to form the past form. The second example, during the journey, the people on the wagon train had survived, had past participle. Of course, survive is a regular verb, so adding ed to form the past. So had survived, had survived. Jamal used to work for a messenger service. So use is a regular verb, so add ed to form the past. So Gamal used to work for a messenger service. The next example. Now give the correct past or past participle form of each of the verbs in parentheses. So my dad burned his toast at breakfast. My dad burned his toast at breakfast. But has burn, the word burn has an alternative past form that ends in T. So you have burn, burned, burned, and burn, burned, burned. And remember, guys, dream, dreamed, dreamed, and dream, dreamt, dreamt. Dream, dreamt, dreamt. The second point, give the correct form past participle or present participle of the italicized verb as indicated in parentheses. Remember, guys, present participle or past participle, they both need helping verbs before them. As for the present participle, you need am, is, are, was, or were, for example. And as for past participle, you need have, has, or had. So now, the first question, try to answer them, please, quickly. And after you're done, pause the video, and after you're done, Okay, make sure of your answers. We'll make sure of the answers together. So the next one, a rolling green meadow stretched before them. That's past. So stretched. Okay, present participle. So is painting. Have you? You need a past participle here because you have the helping verb have. So have you revised? The cat jumped onto the counter and knocked over a glass of juice. So past, so jumped. So we are conducting a survey. Present participle because you have are. We are conducting a survey. The next example or the next point, regular verbs. He said some verbs do not fit the regular pattern. He means that you cannot add d or ed in order to form the past and the past participle. And regular verb forms its past and past participle in some way other than adding d or ed, like the verb swam, for example. Swim, so swim, swam, swam.